Okay, so the next part that we have for this is basically conservation of mass. So, like conservation of mass basically states that the amount of mass does not change even after deformation. The density might change, but the amount of mass might not change. The density changes because the volume changes, obviously. So basically, we consider our total mass as like the integral over the entire volume as the initial density times the initial volume. And like let's suppose that after the deformation, like it might change to some any deformed volume like dv, and like it might be another entire volume v, and the density, let the density might change to some row of x prime. Matlab, like I mean, if the deformation also changes this axis, so like I mean, it might bend, like x1 prime might just go to another axis, or like I mean, each point might shift to another point. So basically we considered that for the new deformed state, the density might be this rho cap of x times dv. And we can just go to the next part, and here we see that basically the difference between the two should be zero. Like I mean, the mass should not change between the two configurations. So like what we did is like we considered this row of x, like the coordinate system is the same for both of them, but like the only difference is the differential volume has been changed, and this is like the row of x and this is b. So like we can like considering this dv as determinant of f, like I mean this was derived like I mean if we consider our new axis to be to form dv, so like I mean if there's any change in axis due to the deformation, like the axis might get expanded or contracted. So basically determinant f of increments for the changes between the volumes. So like from dv naught we from dv we convert into dv naught, but this additional factor of determinant f is also here. So basically after, like since this entire thing is zero, then the thing inside integral is zero, then the thing inside it should also be equal to zero. And from there we get this identity that this rho naught of x, the original times the original density, is equal to the change density at the position x times the determinant of f, and like the determinant of f at that position. And like let us consider the isotropic case, like isochoric case. So like I mean, the initial is equals to the initial volume is equals to the final volume. So like dv naught is equals to zero. So like in that case, the determinant of f should be one, since like we, while going from dv to dv naught, we multiplied by determinant f. So like if both are equal, then the determinant of f should be equals to zero. Now considering the energy conservation equation. So basically, the energy conservation of equation like requires a lot of steps and a lot of description and a lot of derivation. You can find that in the notes if you are interested. But like it's not as it's not that important to keep track of. So basically, we can just skip to this summary part. So now that we have this, so we have the conservation of mass as rho naught of x is equals to determinant of f times rho cap of x. And like now we can basically calculate the energy due to deformation. Like when I'm deforming a body, I'm basically applying a force which is changing the like each and every point of the body. So like this energy due to deformation u is equals to integral over of volume phi dv. So like in this case, what phi is basically the change in the energy due to deformation per unit volume. So like phi is basically du by dv. So like per unit volume, so like you multiply dv that side, and like you get the total energy change due to deformation is equal to integral of phi times dv. So like at for each point you calculate the phi, and then you basically integrate it over the entire volume to get the total change in energy. And like now that you have this, basically you can find this d phi, like basically the differential, the amount of change in phi. Let's suppose if I apply a small amount of force, then that small amount of force basically changes this d phi, like it changes the phi value at every point. So like this d phi can be at every point is now basically can be calculated as the, like the tensor product, like as we said it's a contraction, so like it's basically sigma the stress tensor times the d epsilon, the delta epsilon, which is the basically the small change in strain which is caused due to application of some extra force. Like this little extra force causes a small amount of change in the strain, and the small amount of change in the strain result in the small amount of change in the energy density at each and every point. And so like this is delta phi. So basically what I can do is, like, since this is kind of multiplication, this is like a matrix multiplication, we can basically just take it like in this part, and we can write that the stress tensor is basically the partial derivative of this phi, the energy density function, per epsilon. So like basically I can write this sigma ij is equals to the partial derivative of phi per epsilon ij. And like if we want to calculate phi for like entire body, for like entire deformation, I can basically, if I know the stress tensor, then basically I can integrate it over the epsilon ij, and like I can basically integrate it from 0 to epsilon ij. And like now once if I have this phi value integrated, I can basically again integrate it over the entire volume to get the total change in total energy stored by basically deforming from 0 to epsilon. And that is basically it for, I guess, this video. And I guess I'll see you in the next video with the constitutive relations.